Press V to enable text-to-speech and self-voicing mode.
Self-voicing enabled. Content warnings. These content warnings are only for the demo and may be updated for the full game. Crude language. Implied drug use. Continue. Spill the beans. Demo build version 0.2. Self-voicing enabled. You've done it. Against all odds, you've managed to pull off the heist. Your shaking, outstretched hands grab the cafe's secret recipe. As its power pulses through your body, your heart aches, your breath flutters, mere echoes of what was taken from you. What will soon be yours again. But at this crucial moment, you can't help but think of the other people in this cafe. The ones you're about to drag into a complicated, criminal mess. You can only blame the scroll's influence for such inconvenient sympathies. If they were in your position, they'd do the same, wouldn't they? They'd know that, after everything you'd been through, this was the only option left. People say that Artifice County is the most magical place there is. Yes, Artifice, where, 100 years ago, the world of spirits cracked the earth and spilled over into ours. But now, those spirits work 9-to-5s. Arcane power fuels cars and charges phones. This county, once the cradle of magic, has become as mundane as any other. And an unmagical human like yourself? Among shape-shifting sirens, carbon fiber constructs and wizards, you're exceptional, exceptionally dull, and exceptionally underestimated. No matter how much you tried to fit in, to love this place in all its wonders, it never reciprocated. All it did was take. All it left you with was emptiness. So why not take something back? Steal everything the county denied from you, fill that gnawing emptiness, then leave it behind forever. Luckily, you know what you need, and exactly where to find it. The Familiar, a downtown cafe, noteworthy only for its secret recipe, locked tight in a back room. And conveniently enough, they're hiring, so desperately that they aren't asking for experience or background checks. All that's left is to put together an application. Not that anything you say on it really matters. It rarely does. Self-affirmation exercise. How do people see you? Try to be honest. My name is. Oh, them. They're always sitting by themselves. Their face is hard to read. But that smile of theirs is unique. They sure are a mystery. Custom pronouns. Use subjective. Self-affirmation exercise. How Self-voice. A few days later, you're face to face with the familiar. While its neighbors are all dust and drywall, its facade seems unbroken, even if the varnish is peeling at the edges. For a moment, nothing. Then you spot a silhouette in the window, who flicks its neon sign to open before waving you over. You cross the street, repeating the details of your plan. You need to get in, get out, and, for the smoothest possible getaway, try to find someone else to take blame. But can you really do all those things without running into any complications? You need to get in, get out, and, for the smoothest possible getaway, try to find someone else to take blame. But can you really do all those things without running into any complications? You've already reached the front door. You can hardly turn back now. The cafe laid bare before you is almost indistinguishable from the scant images you found online. Mismatched chairs and royalty-free wall art. Well kept, but worn down. You don't get long to take it all in. A construct, towering over 2 meters tall, stops wiping down the counter and turns to greet you. Construct, you must be ARR. Great to finally meet you, sorry, terribly rude of me to not meet you at the door. As she strides over, you realize how old her vessel must be to have no custom limbs or decals. Just worn gray stone, flowering moss, and that tiny bluebird nested on her shoulder. Sloan, I'm Sloan, from the emails. Lovely to have you on board. Did you get here all right? I saw your address was uptown, and I know we're a wee bit out the way. Before you get a chance to reply, she's already yanked you into a crushing two-handed shake. For a moment, you worry that she might have pulled your arm from its socket. Sloan, actually, I shouldn't get chatting just yet. Today's schedule is pretty packed, what with your induction, and I barely found time to fix breakfast for Adamo. Hang on. Sloan, this is Adam. Adam, say hello to ARR. They're your new coworker, so be polite. Sloan, Adam's usually my only company out front, so it'll be nice to have you too. Sloan, I mean, I love this job, I really do, but after 6 years of working the floor by myself, starting at 5 every day. Sloan, not that you have to come in that early, of course. We're only meant to start at 8. But it pays off. It does. As Sloan trails off, you have a chance to put your plan in motion. You've spent a long time figuring out other people's so-called feelings, and just how easy they are to manipulate. If someone's in a good mood, they'll probably think better of you and suspect you less. Then again, if you make someone upset, they might make for an easier scapegoat under pressure. But what's best for Sloan? Better make that first impression count. Sloan. ARR. Oh, I've worried you with that 5 a.m. thing, haven't I? Just want to stress that you don't have to do that, honest. Mood. Sloan, that's sweet of you. I try to bring the best out of the old familiar, good to know other people actually notice. The lights flicker overhead before Sloan can finish her sentence. Sloan, oh. Sorry, I thought that was fixed. Should call the electromancer once I get a free moment. Sloan, anyway, pack schedule. I've got pastries in the oven, then a delivery after. Sloan, come on, let's get you in uniform. If we're quick, I can show you how our recipe works before any customers arrive. Sloan strides through the doorway behind the counter, beckoning you into the kitchen beyond. It takes 3 steps to match just one of hers. The kitchen, built from cool metal and right angles, is warm with the smell of apricots. You breathe it in while Sloan roots through a nearby cabinet, before suddenly sighing. Sloan, I'll say this now, sorry about the fit. She hands you an apron like her own, exactly like her own, actually, in that it's far too big for you. It's bound to slow you down, and make you look utterly ridiculous. Sloan, your one should be here tomorrow. I hope this is all right in the meantime. Sure. If any, could I skip the uniform? If it's just, sure. Great. How are you going to steal the recipe while wearing this? Sloan, thanks a million, ARR, glad you're seeing an upside. Here's your name tag, too. As you wrap yourself in the oversized apron and pin on your name tag, Sloan smiles. It's a small, sad smile that weighs down her whole face. Sloan, look. I'm sure not everything you've heard about this place has been grand. But once you put in a little elbow grease, she really shines. And I've got a lot of elbow grease. Sloan, I just wanted to say that, you wouldn't be here if I didn't think you had the same drive. Your application told me that much. Sloan, it did say please, though, didn't it? I knew that was a mistake, so I ignored it. Do change that in the next draft. Please. Sloan, but at the end of the day, those are just words. Your experience was what really settled it? I mean, it must have been quite a privilege to work for. Sloan is cut short by a buzz from her phone. Sloan, pastries. Why don't you pop into the office while I grab those? Fred, your manager, I should say, ought to be ready, big gray door on your right. Best of luck. You take 5, no, 6, steps towards the office, a hiss of heat escaping the oven behind you. Beyond lies Fred, the owner, the one from the newspaper. The one whose recipe you're here for. You ease the door open, but no one greets you. Your eyes are immediately drawn to the colossal metal safe that occupies a quarter of the room. Just a few steps away. You knew the recipe was protected, but not like this. The safe looks like it was taken from the set of a heist movie. It should be locking up gold bars, instead of, what, a recipe for coffee? But as you run a hand across its surface, wondering just how you're going to crack it open, there's a rustle nearby. You snap upright with a bolt of unbidden adrenaline. Like a dragon emerging from its hoard, a tiny, gold-eyed tuxedo cat rouses from a pet bed on top of the safe. He blinks, stickily, then suddenly glares at you, fur on end, eyes aglow. Cat, don't. Cat, touch. Cat, my. Cat, shit. He spits the words at you like darts, light crackling through his panicked eyes. The air in the room starts getting heavier, as if brewing into a thundercloud. Cat, who sent you? If you think you're going to best me in my own domain, then. Cat, wait, you're the new hire, aren't you? Quick as a power cut, the light in his eyes blinks out, and the pressure lifts with it. The cat's eyes, leaping smoothly from the safe to the desk. Fred, sorry, that was unprofessional of me. I'm Fred. Welcome to the familiar. Good to have you on board. Well, given the terrifying magic, and the talking, he's not a cat. He's a demon bound to the form of a beast, a familiar, in other words. Fred, that's the last time I'm pulling an all-nighter on admin. You're lucky to still be young, human, 'cause after the 1st century, things get, ahem. Sloan wanted you on board, right? Fred, we have one main rule: do everything you can to show the economist types this place isn't a bad idea. Fred, more than fire safety drills, we need drive and spite. So that's what I expect from you. Are we clear? Mood choice, did you expect I'd even be here today? Mood choice, crystal clear, boss. Fred, that's what I like to hear. So long as we're all on the same page, you and I will get on just fine. Fred, we aren't a happy little family here, we're just hard workers. This isn't going to work if you aren't prepared to work just as hard as me and Sloan. As if on cue, Sloan enters the office, a kettle of boiling water in one hand and a packet of coffee in the other. She starts mixing the two in a mug on Fred's desk. Sloan, morning Fred. Everything all right in here? Thought I heard a bit of shouting. Fred, oh, no. It's all fine. I've just been giving, Fred quickly squints at your name tag. Fred, giving ARR the lowdown on the familiar. Our history, what we do, all the good stuff. Sloan gazes at Fred, tracing the tiredness in his eyes. Her smile dims a little. Sloan, oh, that's nice. I can join you now, if you'd like. We can go over the finer details together. Fred, if you've got time, by all means. With firm movements, Sloan puts the kettle down and closes the door behind her. Fred's eyes lock onto your name tag again as he reads it under his breath. Fred, so, ARR. Let's get down to business. Fred, we're open 8 to 5 most days, but your shift goes 30 minutes longer at the end for closing. Anything after that is overtime. I can give you the forms. Sloan, aprons go on the hooks in the kitchen. If anything gets spilled on it, don't be afraid to excuse yourself and replace it as soon as you can. Fred, oh, and if you are going to excuse yourself. And on it goes. Sloan and Fred don't speak to you as two different people, but as two halves of one business, efficient, organized, and trusting one another as best they can. Sloan. That should be most of it. I'll be with you at the counter for your training, so don't hesitate to ask me any quest. She's cut off, again, by her phone. Sloan, oh, excuse me Dave. Dave, incoming call. Dave, hey is Sloan. Just unloading the van out back, so, there's your heads up. Dave, incoming call. Sloan, thanks Dave. I'll be right there. Dave, Sloan, I should be off, need to give my signature for the deliveries. Thanks again, Fred. Fred, OARR, before you join her. I'm sure you've heard about our recipe, must be dying to learn what makes the familiar's coffee so irresistible. Fred, but it's not so much a set of instructions as it is, well, I won't get too arcane with you. It's more of a background thing, like the internet? You use that, right? Fred, point being, even if you don't see it, it'll still be working its magic back here. In a drill-proof, bomb-proof, 6-gauge safe, which only me and Sloan can open. Fred, also I cursed it? So it's protected against teleport-based attacks too, of course. Oh. Sloan offered to show me the recipe earlier. Mood choice, I get it. You've got to protect what's yours. So it's protected against teleport-based attacks too, of course. Fred, well, sometimes I need to summon something from inside without opening the door, but I guess someone else could. Fred, I'll make sure that's dealt with. Don't worry about it. He looks back at the veritable vault behind him, as if checking that it's still there. Fred can never be too careful with these things, especially in this economy. I mean, wasn't it just last week that Raphael Hendricks wrote off his beauty store chain? It's inspirational how these CEOs act. Fred, expanding isn't easy. I mean, ideally, we'd have an accountant, a consultant, another chef, but we've got you. And you're one hell of a good start. Fred, especially with our regulars. Ugh, you'll meet M soon enough, you should catch up with Sloan. Anything you need, I'll be back here, going over these papers. As you leave the office, Fred paws a single sheet of paper from the files on his desk. Even upside down, you recognize it as your CV. Not a moment after you enter the kitchen, someone waves at you from the back door. In the doorway next to Sloan is a uniformed courier, a human, just as unremarkable as you. A precarious stack of cardboard boxes wobbles threateningly behind him. Dave, say, you're ARR, Aaron Shaw. Sloan was just telling me about you, all good things, I promise. Mostly good. Dave gives Sloan a package, and gives you a conspiratorial eyebrow waggle. He pauses to take a long breath inward through his nose. Dave, oh, is that apricot? So you did go for the new recipe? Fred must have taken some convincing. Sloan, oh, I'm just trying it out, we'll see how they sell first. Dave, hey, if I come by once I'm off work, that's one customer right there, guaranteed. Sloan breaks away to put each package in its right place. Dave looks at you, eyes glistening. Dave, hey, ARR. Have a good first day, yeah. Mood choice, if you say so. Mood choice, thanks, he might not be here for it, but if all goes well, today's going to be good. Dave, that's the spirit. Sloan, any more for me, Dave? Dave, just a couple bigger things, but I'll grab those this time. Don't let me interrupt your induction. Sloan, are you sure? I could carry. Dave, I'll catch you later for that pastry, yeah. Dave walks away whistling, his footsteps gradually going quiet in the alley. Sloan. ARR, I am so sorry about Fred. I know he must have overslept today, that's on me. You notice her hands are balled into fists, one so tight that even the stone starts to buckle. Sloan, I just wanted your first day to be easy, but, oh well. Let's get you behind the counter, shall we? Sloan, there won't be time to take you through all the machines, so let's just fill the drip maker. I keep the house roast down here. She effortlessly pulls open a burlap sack of beans, scooping them into the grinder. As you pulverize them, the aroma of the coffee fills your lungs like a cloud of bitter smoke. Sloan, today's been all over the shop, hasn't it? We should get a wee moment to breathe now. Only one customer comes in this early, and they don't do Mondays. I'll introduce you tomorrow. Sloan smiles, the stone wrinkling around her eyes, and it dawns on you, this is beginning to feel like a real job. Just as you finish that thought, the front door swings wide open and your first customer skips inside. You spot at least 4 shades of pink in their outfit. Pink fingernails, pink sun hat, lipstick, backpack, that dress must be bespoke, too. Pricey. As they draw close, though, you spot pointed fangs in their cheery smile, and deep red eyes behind their tinted glasses. A vampire. Vampire, good morning, Sloan. Sloan, oh I spoke too soon morning. Before you order, this is ARR, our new barista. Vampire, so you're finally upscaling. You know, I saw some prime real estate going for cheap on Moonbo, if expansion's on your mind. Sloan, slow down, we're not taking over the industry just yet. The vampire looks as if they have more to say, words bubbling just beneath the surface, but settles on a pout. Sloan, ARR, this is Jesse, I'm Jesse. With an IE. Jesse's eyes swivel to you with abundant curiosity. Jesse, your apron's so big. I'm more for tailored fits myself, but I know that baggy looks have been catching on lately, draws focus to the wearer being separate from their clothes. Sloan, oh no, it's nothing like that, just a supply chain issue. What'll it be this time, Jesse? Jesse, a hot chocolate, please. And I'll have it with HM whipped cream, nutmeg, caramel, marshmallows. Wait, will that fit? Marshmallows, then whipped cream, then caramel, and the rest. Oh, but what if I got cookies too? Jesse, give me one with everything. And 2 chocolate chip cookies, please. Sloan's already off to one side, rifling through her arsenal of ingredients. Meanwhile, Jesse brandishes a pink, bat-styled mug from their satchel, placing it on the counter as their eyes flick back to you. Jesse, even if Sloan and Fred aren't aiming for world domination yet, you're still on the front line of their expansion plans. They're investing a lot of trust in you. Jesse, so tell me, do you feel like a good investment? How far are you willing to go to succeed? Mood choice, well, mood choice, I'd do anything. Mood choice, the vampire peers deep into your eyes, then nods, as if confirming a suspicion they had. Jesse. Good. Sloan, so, Jesse, what brings you here on this lovely Monday morning? Are you trying out a new schedule? Jesse, oh no, much more exciting than that. I've got a meeting with the board after this, so I came here to prepare. It'll go much smoother with something sweet. Sloan, for your infamous internship. How is your family treating you, then? Jesse, about as well as usual. Trust me, I'd much rather be here to help the familiar. Jesse, but then Fred's just like everyone else, he sees my last name is Hendricks and thinks I'm some source-rouse corporate spy, out to suck the proverbial blood from his business. Of course, the Hendrickses. Rich, powerful, and, most troublingly for you, magically talented. Jesse looks at you, anticipating your judgment with a flat smile. You know, Fred did say he was looking for a consultant. He called your father cashing out on a failed business inspirational. Mood choice, well, you're far too fashionable to be a spy. He called your father cashing out on a failed business inspirational. You know, Fred did say, Jesse, really? Oh, but I don't have the time, but if it's just a few minutes, okay, I'll show him a few proposals if I catch him. Thank you. Sloan. Try not to let your family get you down, Jesse. You'll get your chance to prove yourself someday. Jesse, well, if all goes according to plan, that chance should come today. Fingers crossed. Sloan passes Jesse's now full mug across the counter. By some miracle of physics, it hasn't spilled over yet. Jesse, maybe this was a bit ambitious, but if I use a cookie to scoop up the cream and let the marshmallows melt, I can finish it in. Jesse, 30 minutes? Jesse, Thank you, Sloan. An ARR. Jesse swipes their card, then their mug, making a beeline for a booth seat before the payment even goes through. They assemble their workstation in mere seconds, a sheaf of papers, a stack of textbooks and a predictably pink laptop. The mug stands, vigilantly, at a safe distance. Sloan, Jesse was a surprise, but, at least they're a nice one. I'm just grateful they didn't come in at the same time as. Before she can finish, the front door swings open and a siren rolls into the room. She's wearing a sleeveless orange turtleneck, a magnolia-covered jacket that's relaxing on her shoulders, and a perfectly photogenic smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Siren, hello, the familiar. It's a perfect day for my long overdue review, don't you think? You'll have to forgive me, I came straight here from my morning swim, I must look a mess. She runs one hand through a river of glossy pale hair, parted by an immaculate side cut, and raises a smartphone with the other, flourishing it like a paper fan. Sloan, don't worry ARR, I'll handle this. Jesse. Jesse shrinks back, arranging their books into a makeshift wall. It seems to work, the siren glides over towards the counter, not noticing them at all. Siren, now Sloan, I know you very well of course, but for the benefit of both me and my adoring fans, who is this? Sloan, oh, I didn't know you'd be coming, this is. But the siren's already staring at your name tag, trying to preempt Sloan's introduction. Siren, so that's how you spell, ARR. Enchanté. Alexandra, I'm Alexandra Argyros, pleasure to make your acquaintance. You don't happen to have a grimoire account, do you ARR? I'd love to give you proper credit in my post. Sloan. How about a drink first? before anything goes onto that internet page of yours. Alexandra, quite right Sloane, I'm getting ahead of myself. Could I have? She clears her throat and straightens her back. Alexandra, a blue sea salt caramel frappe with soy milk and non-dairy whipped cream on top. Plus a little of that raspberry chocolate powder you have would be lovely, thank you so much. Sloane, I should have everything, let me check the back first. ARR, could you grab a plastic cup for that? Lids are in the bottom left cupboard. Alexandra. Wait, do you have any of those little fish cookie? She's gone. In the silence, Alexandra's smile slides off her face. She sighs, sharply, through her nose. Alexandra, are you alright? I know this whole song and dance can be quite overwhelming if you aren't prepared. But then you don't know who I am anyway, do you? Mood choice, oh no, of course I've heard of you. Mood choice, I've never heard of you. Mood choice, oh no, of course I've heard of you. Alexandra, oh of course you have, always happy to meet my fans, but don't bother being polite. I can tell you don't have any idea who I am. Sloane returns, hands full of yet more ingredients. You hand her a cup and she starts filling it with dubiously blue syrup. Sloane, should I expect your fans to start ordering these fraps in the hundreds? I'm not sure they're on theme anymore. Alexandra, oh, nothing so drastic. It'll just make a pretty picture to draw in the crowds, the algorithms will eat it up. Alexandra plucks the card reader from the counter with a sly smile, passes her phone across it, and hands it back with a wink. There's a 30% tip attached. Sloane. You'd know better than me about that social media stuff. Alexandra, Sloane, trust me. You've got a wonderful, marketable place here. What's not to love? Those donuts. Those menus. Alexandra turns around to gesture at the cafe, and her eyes finally land on Jessie. Her voice freezes in her throat. Alexandra. Jess. Jessie, eek. Sloane, oh no, Jessie. Jessie. Hey Alex. I didn't know you were coming today. Alexandra, well you might have known if you followed me on Grim, forget it. Jessie, do you? Alexandra. Jessie. Sloane puts the finished frappe to one side, pushing past you to tend to the transformed Jessie. Alexandra squeaks a little closer to you. Alexandra, what an unfortunate coincidence. Well, let's both make sure it doesn't distract us from the task at hand. She plucks the frappe from the counter. You're not sure how anything that color could taste any better than tolerable. Alexandra, I know when I'm not wanted. I'll just snap a few photos, then be on my merry way. The lighting's not ideal, but I can fix it in post. Feel free to dim the lights, the switch is right there, so Jessie really didn't know you were coming? But they seem mood choice, I don't know what. Alexandra. Thank you. I'll spare you the messy details, but needless to say it didn't end well. Not that there was much of an ending to speak of, really. With a final smile, Alexandra takes her drink to the cafe's centermost table, posing it like an art exhibit. Jessie, still a bat, keeps staring at her. But she doesn't look back. With an exhausted puff of smoke, Jesse returns to their original form and slumps into their seat, eyes wandering to the crescent moon bracelet on their wrist. Sloane returns, after confirming they're okay. Sloane, sorry, I didn't think, yeah. Both of them at once can be a wee bit complicated. They used to. She's cut off by the sound of a motorbike revving down outside, heralding the arrival of your third customer. This person is a first, even for you, someone whose body lacks everything but a skeleton. You don't know any kind of magic that can make that work. Skinless, fleshless, sigil-less, although he does have hair, which you're pretty sure isn't a type of bone, a stiff, dark brown pompadour that props up a pair of sunglasses. Alexandra, grudge. Oh no. Jesse, grudge, hey. How's it going? I feel like I've barely seen you since ArtCon. Skeleton. He reaches the counter undeterred. You're waiting for Sloane to address him like the others, but she's just staring. Locked in place. Sloane. Skeleton, humph. Skeleton, so you're the new barista. Good job on making it this far, makes ya one of the best, don't it? Ain't just the coffee ya brew. It's your resolve. Sloane, see can I ahem. Can we take your order? Skeleton, yeah, resolve, well let me tell ya, I know your type, and I know you're up to something. I can feel it in my. I can feel it. Sloane, I would like to order, thank ya kindly. Skeleton, let's put your new barista to the test. I'll have. Skeleton, a coffee. Skeleton, a black coffee. Skeleton, from the pot, doesn't have to be, yet. Sloane, I think we might, Sloane's eyes bounce between his skull and the coffee pot on the counter. Sloane, ARR. Why don't you handle this one? It'll be good, for your training. Seems like she isn't going to budge. You grab a cup and start pouring. Skeleton, wait, what's their name? ARR. Skeleton, okay. Think I got it? Grudge, ARR. So that's to be the name of my nemesis. I'm Grudge, Grudge Knuckles, and you'd best remember it. Grudge, even if Frederick gave ya this job instead of me, there's bound to be cracks in your meticulous facade. Your coffee making halts at this revelation. He had a whole rant prepared, just because you got this job. With an application like that. Mood choice, you're making it obvious why they didn't pick you. Mood choice, you caught me. Mood, grudge, hitting me right in my non-existent heart. You're gonna make a fine nemesis, that's for sure. Much as it pains me. Physically. You present the now full cup to Grudge. He daintily drops in a sugar cube, then stirs the coffee with a bone-like spoon, which he apparently just had, loose, in one of his pockets. Grudge, het. Nice try, ARR, but I know coffee when I see it. So there's no way this. He puts it to his jawbone and takes a delicate sip. The liquid seems to vanish as soon as it enters his mouth. Grudge, it's. Damn it, it's just like usual. How'd they get it right so quick? So bitter, yet so energizing. Grudge, fine. I'll hand it to ya, ARR. Looks like you're real lucky. That's a decent cup of coffee. but beware. I'm watching yat. He takes the cup and spins, dramatically, away from the counter. It's then that he finally spots Jesse. Grudge, Jesse. Jesse, grudge. They immediately hug. Grudge, it's so good to see ya. Why didn't ya pipe up earlier? Jesse, I was waiting for you to finish. It sounded like you had a lot to get off your chest. Grudge, oh, yeah, I heard that. Sorry, was just a personal, doesn't matter. How's your job going? Jesse, I could tell you, but I've not got long. Are you sure you don't want something with your coffee? Sloane's made some great cookies today, and I'd be happy to buy. Grudge, oh no. Shouldn't give my nemesis the satisfaction, not after walking away all conclusively like I just did. Jesse, grudge, you haven't even paid yet. And I admire your candor, but, are you sure ARR's your nemesis, and not Fred? Grudge, ugh. Fred's a real villain, that's true. But a nemesis? That's different. Gotta be personal. Alexandra. Jesse, but you don't know who ARR is yet. Maybe start with a rivalry? As practice? Grudge, a rival, Alexandra, having a lovely time at no I used lovely last time, they'll think that's insincere. Ugh. What if I? Grudge, oh, almost forgot Alex. How ya doin'? All good over there? Alexandra, grudgy, I didn't see you come in. What a coincidence to run into both you and Jess today. Grudge, well, it's funny you're here, actually, there was something I wanted to. Alexandra. Grudge, I'll just talk to ya later. You too, Jess, if you're busy. Sorry. I should pay for this. Grudge sheepishly returns to the counter, hands fishing through his jacket pockets for some loose coins. Grudge, well, I'm back. Got too caught in the whole confrontation to give ya your money. Even if most of it's going straight into Fred's pockets, ugh. Grudge, but I'll say this, I'm practically a coffee detective, and I'm detecting something odd about yat. So long as I come here, I'm gonna do my damnedest to figure out what. You think I'm suspicious? You think I'm suspicious? Is it just me, or is Alexandra mood choice, then, grudge, detective. I like the sound of that. Maybe I will catch ya then, ARR. Later. I'll catch ya later. Without another word, he perches on a stool by one of the cafe's front windows. Over his shoulder, Alexandra and Jesse swap looks of confused concern. Sloane. Good job, ARR. Now would be a good moment to put his purchase into the register. As she's halfway through showing you how to work the cash register, you turn to see Fred jump up onto the counter next to you. Fred, how's it going out here? No need to panic, this isn't a performance review, just checking things are. He surveys the regulars in the cafe with no small amount of scorn. Fred, humph. Sloan, why don't you come with me for a moment? Been meaning to have a chat. Sloan, but we still need to. She looks forlornly at the pile of coins Grudge left. Even at a glance, you can tell it covers the price of the drink and then some. This might be your last chance to sow suspicions before you execute your plan. Better choose wisely. The till's out of paper notes. Could you grab some more? Is Grudge usually like that? Mood choice, I'll deal with this. Is Grudge usually like that? Mood choice, I'll deal with this. Take 5. Sloan nods, clearly grateful for this brief reprieve. As silence returns to the room, so too does your opportunity. But you can't help but overhear Fred and Sloane's hushed conversation in the kitchen. Fred, I'm just saying, if our best regulars keep bringing their drama here, no one else is gonna want to stay. With a sigh, Sloane leans against the kitchen island, the full weight of this morning's event seeming to suddenly sit on her shoulders. Sloane, they're good, reliable customers. And sure, things have been tricky, but we've got ARR now. With a little hard work, we can turn this around. Sloane, besides, aren't there enough names on your board of bands already? Let's not add any more while we're going through a rough patch. She side-eyes a corkboard near the walk-in fridge. There must be at least 24 names on there, each marked with a reason for ban in vindictive felt tip. Fred, I know, you're right. It's just. I mean, I haven't even cast an anti-summoning ward on this place. Not exactly a recipe for success. Sloane, I did want to talk about our recipe, actually. You know, since we've got a new hire, and... Fred, can we just deal with one thing at a time? First priority is cutting down costs. Now, I noticed the price of algae extract, for that blue drink, got hiked up, and I figured. Fred, ugh, my nerves are a mess, I should just cast that ward. I'll be out front. Sloane, what are you doing, now? Fred. A sudden knock on the back door stops her from following after Fred. Sloane, oh, Dave's back. Let's deal with that first, one thing at a time. Mumbling to himself, Fred assumes a position at the very center of the cafe. That storm cloud feeling starts to rise again as he begins his spellcraft. While Fred's presence draws a little attention, you start rifling through your bag, making sure you can take any opportunity to launch the heist. Just as he starts chanting, however, Jesse approaches him with a thick stack of papers in hand. Jesse, hello Frederick. Rumor is you're expanding the familiar, very exciting. I'd love to get on board. Oh, should you be casting in front of customers? Fred, Lord of Chains Fromo. Jezebel. That's kind of you to offer, but I am in the middle of something here. Jesse, I just think there's a lot I can offer the familiar. Sloane can vouch for my contract writing work, the familiar deserves all the help it can get. At this point, Grudge takes notice of this conversation, silently shaking his head. Fred, look, Jezebel, if you've already got contracts for me to sign, you've got the wrong idea about working with me. Thought you would have learned that after last time. Jesse, Ah. I see. Maybe later, then. Jesse gives Fred a nod and walks away, conceding his point. Grudge immediately moves to reassure them, skeletal hand to shoulder. Grudge, Jess. Jess. What kinda spell is that? Jesse, oh, judging from the symbols, it looks like an anti-summoning ward? Odd. Why would he want to stop anyone from getting in? Grudge, or, for that matter, why'd he want to stop folks from getting out? In the background, Alexandra tries her best to get a clear shot of her drink, but Fred is perched in the way. Alexandra, Freddy, weren't you the one who said I'd rather die than have my photo on the internet? Because you aren't acting like it, do move, please. Freddy. Alexandra, I've got bigger things to worry about than photographs right now. I'm addressing a security concern, in case you hadn't noticed. Grudge, bigger things. What bigger things, Fred? We're all ya got, maybe start acting like it. Jesse, Grudge, maybe don't. Alexandra, ah, here it is, right on cue. The shouting match. Fred. Grudge. It's then that Sloane joins you in the main room, dusting her hands clean from Dave's latest packages. Sloane, finally Fred, are you doing all right? Sloane stands still at the sight of Grudge and Fred stare down. She gazes into his hollow sockets. Sloane, Fred, could we just slow down for a moment? Am I not allowed to check on my own cafe without someone accosting me? Grudge. No. Fred, we've got a new hire today, and if this is the impression we're giving them, we'll be doing them a disservice. Fred, now if you'll excuse me, I'll be finishing that spell now. Without any more interruptions. Fred continues, pushing the spell towards completion, as you, coiled like a spring, wait for the exact right moment to strike. Even with such a prominent distraction, you know success isn't assured. How fortunate, then, that you sowed a little more chaos in advance. Jesse looks down at their stack of papers, gloom gathering on their brow. Jesse, so you're not even going to look at my proposals? Fred, if you want to talk, Jezebel, we'll do it later. Just as Fred's magic ripples out into the cafe, all eyes are on Fred, and you take your moment to strike. It's a slim distraction, but it's enough. And you aren't going to get a better chance than right now. You reach into your bag and, in an instant, all the light and sound is sucked from the room. The sounds of panic are quickly quelled by the magic now pulsing from your cozy sleep-tight blackout blanket, trademark. Even in the silent darkness, you won't have long before everyone gets a sense of their surroundings. But you've been over this plan too many times to fail now. Having said that, you're still wearing a very large apron, which could be an impediment to said plan. What to do? Take it off, keep it on, take it off. Deciding to remove any chance of tripping in total darkness, you scramble to untie the apron before taking your first steps. Step 1, take 3 steps into the kitchen, then 5, no, 6 to the right. You paw for the door handle and slip into the office, thankful that there wasn't an apron to stop you. Step 2, 1, 2, 3 steps, and you feel the cool surface of the safe against your fingers. Step 3, reach into your bag and give your can of curspegone a shake. A few sprays on the safe, and the wards are already flaking off. Fred never considered such a direct approach. But there's something else, a sound cutting through the silence, crackling like lightning. Fred's casting a counterspell, albeit slowly, thanks to you wasting his time on that anti-teleporting ward. Step 4, spin the wheel, and heave the safe door open. Feel around inside, until you've done it. Against all odds, you've managed to pull off the heist. With only a slim window of opportunity, too. Your shaking, outstretched hands grab the cafe's secret recipe, before stuffing it into the tiny pocket dimension of your teleportable lunchbox. But at this crucial moment, you can't help but think of the other people in the cafe, and who, if anyone, you should try to pin this on. You exhale, but the sound, though faint, is starting to return. Fred's counterspell is gaining energy. Even if you put all your weight on the safe door, you wouldn't have time to close it properly. The best you can do is return as quickly and quietly as you can. As you take careful steps back to the counter, you try your best to control your breathing, to not let the exhilaration show. It's been so long. But as you desperately shove your apron back on, and the darkness finally dissipates, you know you're not safe yet. You've got to find an exit in the ensuing chaos, without arousing suspicion. Somehow. As the silent darkness lifts from the cafe, the first thing you see is Fred bounding through the kitchen, crashing through the cat flap to the office. Sloan, is everyone okay in here? No one's hurt. Sloan catches you just as you get the apron over your head, stopping in pure bewilderment. Sloan, are you all right? ARR. Alexandra. What was that, exactly? Blackouts don't usually come with spontaneous hearing loss. Jesse, it is possible with light and sound enchantments, but it's rare they're so dramatic. Did Fred's spell backfire, somehow? Sloan, Jesse, we don't have any enchantments like that. This wasn't planned. Grudge, huh, the plot thickens. Wait, where'd Fred go? Before anyone can move, Fred rushes back into the room. Fred, nobody leaves? His eyes crackle gold, and chains of light fly across the cafe. The front door, the windows, the back door, no exits are spared. Fred, we can do this the easy way, or the hard way. Understand? And if you aren't going to turn yourself in, I'll just root you out myself. Jesse, what? I'm sorry, but whatever just happened is your business. I'm not missing my meeting. Alexandra, I'm sure you have a plan, Frederick, but is it really necessary to, trap us inside your lovely cafe? If you wanted us to stay, you didn't have to do that. Grudge, and what are ya accusing us of, exactly? Sittin' perfectly still while ya messed up some spell? Sloan, Fred, what's going on? Fred, while the lights were out, someone went into my office and somehow opened the safe. Which means one of the people in this room has stolen our secret recipe. It's as if the whole room flinches. Suddenly, everyone's looking at everyone else, wide-eyed, searching their faces for the slightest trace of an answer. Jesse seems to be evaluating everyone in turn, but their piercing red eyes burrow into Fred for the longest. The only one who seems to consider you for more than a second is Sloane, who looks at your apron with narrowed eyes. Sloane, but that means, no. This is fine. We can deal with it, it's all right. Jesse, as unfortunate as this is, I do have a meeting to attend, and I'd rather not get caught up in this. Fred, huh? Good luck getting past my magic. I might only be a familiar, but I promise if you try to leave, you'll regret it. Jesse's eyes flicker across Fred's barrier, prying for any weaknesses in the spellcraft. Alexandra, Frederick, this is utterly absurd. We've all got better things to do than play petty parts in your amateur theatrics. Grudge, yeah. And how do ya know it's just one thief? What, it's a conspiracy of all of us, finally getting our revenge. Sloane, we don't have to act like vigilantes. I'll just call the police, and... Fred, enough. Enough. This place is sealed, and nobody leaves till we find our thief, thief singular, Grudge, because if it was any more, you might have actually succeeded. Fred, as for the ACPD, Sloane, fine, I'll call them. I'm betting they'll take their sweet, taxpayer-funded time getting here, then label this as unsolvable. Fred, but I'm not risking anyone making a break for it in the meantime, so we're going to sit here, like adults, and get our facts straight. Understand? Fred, now, did anyone notice anybody acting strange? Anything suspicious, at all? Might get this over with faster if you fess up now. The room exchanges uncomfortable glances, before someone pipes up. Grudge, Jess. I didn't think ya wanted to get in with Fred, after all the shoutin' matches we had. Ya wanted access to the heart of his business, metaphorically speaking. Alexandra. You really could have phrased that better, grudgy. Jesse, that's got nothing to do with this. I just got the impression that he needed more staff. Grudge, hey, if ya wanted to steal from Fred, I'd support ya. Jesse, well, Fred, you were casting an anti-summoning ward, weren't you? That tells me you were expecting something like this to happen, already blocking off avenues of escape. Sloane, you really didn't explain what you were doing, Fred. Can't blame us for worrying. Fred, hey, I'm the one who just got robbed, I was right to cast that. ARR's the one who suggested it. Fred. Well, great start, everybody. At this rate, we'll have our recipe back within the next 1,000 years. Fred, ugh, there's no use trusting anyone here, is there? I know how these stories go, you've all got some kind of motive. Fred, Jesse. The heir to a powerful family with something to prove, there's always one. Jesse, I'm not an heir to anything. I'm the youngest of 5. Fred, Alexandra. Our femme fatale, although she hasn't killed anyone, probably. Alexandra, if it weren't from you, I'd take that as a compliment. Fred, Grudge. The obvious suspect. Too obvious, even, but I'm not ruling anything out yet. Grudge, so what, that makes ya the hero detective? Yeah, don't even have a plucky sidekick. Or a hat. Fred, Sloan. The one you'd least expect. Sloan, oh, that's good. I think. But Fred, you can't really be saying that Fred, which brings us to our final suspect. ARR. Your breath can't help but flutter as everyone's eyes suddenly turn on you. Fred, well, I've got my eye on you too. But they'd have to be swimming in artifacts to pull that off, so pretty sure they're in the clear. A cursory glance round the room tells you that not everyone believes him. Fred, so that's why they're going to find out who really did this. And everyone's going to be very polite and answer all their questions. What? Grudge, wait, they're the detective? I would have been perfect for this job. Although playing sidekick to Fred, yeah, bullet dodged. Sloan, Fred, why would you choose ARR over me? It's been 6 years, do you still not trust me? Alexandra, this is Can we all stop shouting for a moment, please? Please. Jesse, I can't keep spending my time with people who'd waste it on my behalf. Don't try to stop me when I leave. Grudge, I'm with ya there, Jess, though I wouldn't mind knowing who really did it. Sloan, Fred, I know you're panicking right now, but we shouldn't do anything rash. These are our customers, and this is ARR's first day. Why would we? Her rising voice is broken by a ringtone. She stops with a flinch, putting the call on speaker. Dave, incoming call, Sloan, hey. Dave. Dave, incoming call, Dave, hey Sloan. Got my very last packages out back but there's these, gold chains on the door. Think it's stuck. You okay in there? Dave, incoming call, Sloan, yes I'm fine, we're just dealing with a burglary. I'll give you the details in a second. At the door. Dave, incoming call, Dave, oh. One of those days, huh. Is ARR alright, at least? Dave, incoming call, Sloan, good question. Fred's just asked them to interrogate us. Dave, incoming call, Fred, look, I know it's unorthodox, but we all need that recipe. This is our best option for the cafe. Dave, incoming call, Grudge, for the cafe? I always knew ya hated your customers, but this just confirms it. Dave, incoming call, Fred, no, Grudge. Just you. Dave, incoming call, Alexandra, can we please not fight already? We're not going to solve whatever this is by shouting. Dave, incoming call, Dave, yeah it's getting a bit loud over the speaker. Dave, incoming call, Jesse, ARR. What do you actually want to do? Dave, incoming call. Mood choice, if I'm getting paid either way, I might as well. Mood choice, let's all calm down. Mood choice, I don't know, this is a pretty bad first day. Mood choice, Dave, incoming call, Fred, good. It's hard work, but someone's gotta do it. Dave, incoming call, Jesse, well, if you are going to do it, it shouldn't be for free. Dave, incoming call, Alexandra, oh, how mercenary. If your standards are that low, then go right ahead. Dave, incoming call, Grudge, huh. Didn't realize ya loyalty could be bought so easily. For shame. Dave, incoming call, Fred, look, are we doing this or not, ARR? Dave, incoming call, no matter how strange Fred's idea might be, it could put you in a better position until you can make your getaway. Time to lean on the scapegoat part of your plan. Dave, incoming call. So as he starts bounding into the kitchen, you shrug and go along with him. Sloane finishes her call with Dave before following with heavy footsteps. Silence takes the space you leave behind. Fred. Sloane, do you want to talk about any of that? Fred, just relax for a minute, Sloane. I'm gonna check for clues in my office. ARR, join me in a minute. Sloane, clues? Sloane, I didn't hire a detective, but here we are. If there's anything I can do to help, please, just ask. Dave, oh, me too. Not sure there's much I can offer besides moral support, but you know. Thought I'd say. Can't leave till the delivery's done, is all. Sloane. Thanks, Dave. I think we could use the support while this gets sorted. Dave, well, it'll get awkward if I'm just looking in, won't it? I'll leave you be, then. Anything you need, just shout into the alley. Sloane, best not keep Fred waiting. Maybe you'll be able to reason with him, calm him down a bit. I think he could use that right now. Asshole, outgoing call. You oblige her and enter the office, finding Fred in the middle of a phone call. Asshole, outgoing call. Fred. Yeah, a theft. Locked down the whole building, makes your job a whole lot easier, doesn't it? Asshole, outgoing call. Cop. A locked room scenario is a little intriguing, I suppose. Asshole, outgoing call. The person on the phone, you know that voice. Thin and sharp as wire, digging into you just as deep. But where? Asshole, outgoing call. Cop. But if it isn't urgent. Asshole, outgoing call. Fred. That's not what I said. N. Asshole, outgoing call. Cop. You're not exactly getting picked off one by one. I'll be happy to be there at the earliest convenience. Our department is very busy otherwise. Asshole, outgoing call. Fred, you'll solve it, by yourself. Really? Asshole, outgoing call. Cop, you shouldn't expect miracles. We are just mortal, you know. Oh, excuse me. Mostly mortal. Asshole, outgoing call. A self-satisfied laugh crackles through the receiver. It bounces off the back of your skull, ringing like tinnitus. Asshole, outgoing call. Fred, if you show your face in my business. Asshole, outgoing call. Cop, I'll see you later, familiar. Asshole, outgoing call. Fred, bah. Why did I expect anything else? After dialing all those tiny keys, too. Fred, ARR, here already. As you probably heard, the ACPD is taking its sweet time, big surprise. But we don't need M. We'll do the real work. Fred, plan is, you find our prime suspect before the ponies get here and mess everything up. You can do that, right? It's 1 in 4, logical deduction. Fred sneaks a not-so-subtle glance at your CV across the desk. Fred, should be easy for, a self-motivated artisan like yourself. Fred, and you love doing the work. Perfect. There's plenty of work around here, if you hadn't guessed. You'll never be bored. Fred. Right, let's put those soft skills of yours to use. Imagine I'm one of the suspects. What would you ask me? You did it, didn't you? Just confess. Hey. If you admit it now, we promise we won't. You did it. Fred, but we will be mad. I'm already mad. He stops to breathe out as much tension as he can manage. Fred, I mean, are you even trying to find the right suspect here? We need eyewitness accounts, motives, that sort of thing. Stuff like, Fred, what were you doing when the lights went out, or how do you feel about the familiar, or what's your relationship with Fred, you know? If that's what he wants while you're trapped here, that's exactly what he'll get. Fred, if you find us a prime suspect, with a convincing case, I mean, something thoroughly investigated, we can put things back to normal. Fred, things are gonna get complicated once he shows up, too, so I'd appreciate having someone on my side when that happens. Fred. I know how this sounds. It's a dumb idea, but it's the best I've got right now. And if we don't do something, this place is going under. Fred, all our livelihoods are at stake here, so, get out there and catch us a thief. Fred. Please. Your plan went off without a hitch, until it didn't. And while your boss might be paying you greater attention, he doesn't think you did it, at least not yet. And if a real detective from the ACPD is coming, no doubt they'll find out you're the thief. That is, unless you have a convincing scapegoat. With evidence of a motive, and the others on your side, you might be able to clock off at the end of the day without handcuffs. Until that happens, Fred's magic will keep you trapped here. So with that, your investigation begins. Not to find who did it, but to find the perfect person to blame. To be continued. Spill the beans, demo build version. Spill the beans.